This is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Amarachi Ubani.
Good evening and welcome. Tonight,
on behalf of the National Working Committee and indeed our American chairman, the expression of interest form as well as the nomination form for 2015 presidential election. My vote
the President takes interest in nomination form at the PDP national headquarters in Abuja, says he will deliver. Backlash against the Speaker Aminu Tambuwal's defection to the APC as the police authorities withdraw his security details. Elder statesman Maitama Sule warns against using political thugs in the 2015 elections, also calls for national unity. An angry Burkinabe protesters set fire to the parliament building to prevent President Blaise Compaoré from extending his 27-year rule. Government declares a state of emergency.
And on Business News Tonight, the federal government signs Memorandum of Understanding to enhance power infrastructure. While on sports news, the Confederation of African Football has approved the Quaidom Stadium for the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier between Nigeria and South Africa.
President Goodluck Jonathan eventually made it to the PDP Secretariat in Wadata House, Abuja today after a long wait by party supporters and journalists. He picked up the party's nomination form, beating the deadline set by the PDP. After being welcomed by the leadership of the party, he was presented with the party's nomination form. Our State House correspondent, Chukwuma Onekusi, reports.
Security was tight at the Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party as the President, accompanied by Vice President Nama Disambo, PDP governors, ministers in the Goodluck Jonathan administration and members of the National Assembly to pick up the nomination form and the expression of interest to run for the 2015 presidential election, not without some inspiring comments by the party whigs present. Some of the speeches tended to answer the questions as to why the overwhelming confidence reposed on the president.
This is a very, very humble personality. A personality well loved by Nigerians. A personality that the party of PDP is very proud of, and it has found in him somebody who will easily get all it requires from the next government. By the grace of God.
One after the other, the expression of interest and nomination forms were handed over to the president amidst cheers. Next, the national chairman of the PDP described the president as a very amiable leader and says no one should meddle into the internal affairs of the party.
I sometimes wonder why people want to dabble into the family affairs that is surely not theirs. PDP is PDP, and PDP is a family. We've decided that our governors, our president, running for the second time, that have performed creditably well, will be given the prize of first refusal.
In a speech, the president thanked all those who contributed towards the purchase of the PDP nomination forms for him, promising to take Nigeria to the next level.
I remain most grateful for their attention. And I thank them for believing, first, in this country. Secondly, for believing in the PDP, because they know that the form is for PDP ticket. And lastly, for believing in me.
Before holding a closed-door meeting with the national chairman of the PDP, the president told Channels Television that the overwhelming support he got will spur him to do more.
We promise Nigerians that we'll work harder, we'll move faster, and definitely we'll move to a level where our children and our grandchildren will be happy and be proud of our country.
Political watchers say the events of this day had led to rest moments of speculation about the willingness of the president to seek a second term in office. Next will be the declaration proper and the tour of the nooks and crannies of the country to convince Nigerians on why they should vote for him. Chukwuma Onwepusi, Channels Television.
Well, 2 governors are in support of President Goodluck Jonathan's sole nomination of the People's Democratic Party. The governors of Akwa Ibom and Ekiti states believe that this decision to have the president as a sole candidate further confirms his acceptance within the party. Both of them agree that the president's performance made it easy for his emergence as the sole candidate.
From the PDP Governors Forum, we made contributions, and then other groups also made contributions. We were shocked to realize that even students in the Northwest, the Northeast, and the rest of them made contributions across the country, and various socio-cultural organizations also made contributions towards purchasing the same thing for the president. So we don't have excess money, and I believe we deploy these monies into the main election of Mr. President. But it's interesting that he decided on his own, out of his own humility, to call in person to honor the party and pick up the phone by himself. And so we are accompanied with that. I think this is historic. This is the first time we have seen this kind of gesture from any sitting president. Despite his tight schedule, he shows clearly that he has respect for the party, he has respect for democracy, and he's a man that personifies humility. It's a great day for us in PDP. In spite of what people are saying, our job is to focus on good governance and deliver transformation to Nigeria. We are not going to be deterred by what the propagandists are doing, because there's a difference between propaganda and reality.
His coming here to obtain his form formally shows the height of humility. And the party is very, very encouraged by it, and teaches us the lessons that wherever you are in the position of power, in leadership, you must equally lead by example.
We're still gathering more reactions to this development today. Human rights activist and legal practitioner Mrs. Ayobe is uncomfortable with the nomination process adopted by the People's Democratic Party for the 2015 presidential ticket. She believes that it sends a wrong signal for a sitting president not to go into primaries with other interested aspirants. I spoke with Mrs. Obe much earlier today, and she told me that democracy is all about contests.
I think the attempt to maneuver out opposition within the party speaks to a lack of confidence which most people would find surprising in an incumbent president. Because normally an incumbent president, firstly within his own party, should be big enough to withstand any form of competition, and not to talk of an incumbent president in the wider election having enough confidence to feel that he can beat all comers. But we find all these little things that are being done as though the president doesn't have enough confidence in his ability to win, even within his own party. But I think that it always helps for a candidate. It's one thing to say that I have emerged by consensus, but when there are clearly people within the party who want to contest, then I think that it looks better from the perspective of that candidate to allow those people to contest with those people.
Which is a precedent that this sets, for other political parties and also for the PDP and the other levels, primaries for governorship and local governments and so on.
Yes, well, it sets that bad precedent, because in the end, the governors, of course, some of them are necessarily coming to the end of their term, so they will have to go. But you find that when it comes to the senatorial seats, you have the contest between those who say that we should also have automatic acceptance. And one was aware that within the ruling party, there were a lot of voices saying that, well, if it's good enough for the president, then it should be good enough for us, in the name of continuity and wide acceptance and so on and so forth.
Human rights activist and legal practitioner Ayo Obe. Meanwhile, the Central Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party has today extended the collection of nomination forms nationwide by 1 week. The party's publicity secretary, Mr. Olisa Metu, told journalists in Abuja today that the decision is to allow aspirants who are yet to collect their forms to do so. He says the decision was taken after the Central Working Committee's meeting, which held at the party's secretariat in Abuja this evening.
The NWC has extended the sale of forms nationwide by 1 week. 1 week from today, the National Working Committee has extended the sale of forms to continue till Thursday next week.
The PDP party secretariat, Olisa Metu. Now, before heading to pick up nomination forms at the PDP headquarters, the president held a closed-door meeting that lasted about an hour with the Emir of Kano, Mohammed Sanusi II, in the presidential villa. The Emir was accompanied to the meeting by members of the Kano Emirates Council. Others present at the meeting included Vice President Muhammad Namadi Sambo, National Security Advisor Sambo Dasuki, and the Attorney General of the Federation, Mohammed Bello Adoke. This is the second time the former CBN governor will visit President Goodluck Jonathan since he became Emir of Kano. Sanusi, alongside other northern traditional rulers led by the Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Syed Abubakar III, had visited the president on July 23rd for the breaking of Ramadan fast. It is deadline day for the picking up of nomination forms in the PDP, and interested aspirants all scrambled to beat the deadline. In Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, a businessman and a governorship aspirant of the People's Democratic Party, Jani Ibrahim, also collected his form from the party's headquarters while declaring his intention. He promised to create jobs and industrialize Kwara State if elected.
The public declaration of intent to be your governor with the first step of being elected as a flag bearer of our great party, the People's Democratic Party. Wherever you hail from, either from the north, from the central, or from the south, Christian or Muslim, high or low in society, we are all united by a common goal of prosperity for all Kwarans, inshallah. To affirm and solemnly declare that granted your maximum support for this party ticket and victory in the February 2015 general elections, your mandate shall be solely used to make Kwara a better place for all of us.
And of course, the People's Democratic Party has extended its deadline for picking up of nomination forms. Now, in part two, after the break, police authorities withdraw Aminu Tambawal's security details. The speaker says his life is under threat. That's just in a moment. Please stay with us.